back to Making It Up with Vera. I am Portia, and today I will be showing you how to make your very own liquid lipstick. In our last video, I showed you how to formulate your base, which is what it starts with, because it's, all about the base. So we're moving to the final step of the process, which of course is creating your own liquid lipstick. So hey, let's make it up. All right, of course, rule number one is to always wear protective gear if you're planning to resell your product. If not, hey, have at it, but I would like to warn you that it does get messy, or it can get messy. Rule number two is to always sanitize your equipment before using, and like I said before, I usually use, pure alcohol, and it gets the job done. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to take the base that you formulated in the last video, and we're going to use about half of this base. So I'm going to take my little spatula here, and I'm just gonna slice it right down the middle. And I'm going to scoop it right over here in this bowl. I'm gonna set this to the side. And now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and kind of make sure the base is nice and smooth and creamy. So we're doing this to, I guess, kind of crush all, the wax, the hard wax that may still be in the mixture. And I actually like to use this little tool here because it gets the job done a lot quicker. All right, so as you can see that we still have, little waxes here. And you don't want to move forward until you kind of crushed all this and smoothing it out, just so your base is nice and creamy before adding your pigments. Okay, just going to keep going here until it's nice and creamy. And it's a nice exercise. Your arm will get extremely tired doing this, but it's okay because we want perfection. We're almost there. Not too much longer. Switch arms. Uh-oh. Okay, I think we're just about done. with this step. And if you would like to use like a hand blender, which I do have, but you know, I like to put in the work manually. But yeah, if you would like to use like a little hand blender, I would recommend buying one from Amazon, which is where, you know, I purchased mine. And I mean, you could get this done a lot quicker. All right, now time for step 2. I'm going to be adding about a half tablespoon of more zinc oxide. As you can remember, we added this to the base to start with, but I want to ensure that my product will be heavily pigmented. And to do that, you want to make sure your base isn't transparent. Just a little bit more. And again, I purchased this from TKB Trading. All right, so back to stirring. Make sure it's nice and well mixed. And as you can see, the base is a lot less transparent than it was, and that's exactly what you want. Okay, so now we can move forward with adding some pigment. And I don't have a set color in mind, so we're just gonna, you know, add a few of these and keep it trucking. So first, let's start with this pigment here, and this is Select Dye Red 7, also purchased from TKB. And I'm going to add 1 teaspoon. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up pretty good before adding more color. All right, so with the lake dyes, you want to make sure that you're mixing this nice and thoroughly, because you don't want any specks once you get ready to tube these. So yeah, just make sure you mix it pretty good. I actually like this color. I don't know if I want to add anything else to it, but but for the sake of the video, I will. So let's go with a half teaspoon of this here, which is it's a red 21 aluminum weight, also purchased from TKB. Okay, back to mixing. This is nice. I'm loving this color. Super cute. All right, so let's add one more color to this. And let's go with yellow iron oxide. Sorry, it's so dirty, but as you can see, formulating makeup, lipstick can be very messy, especially when you're using the dyes. And when you're going to purchase your pigment, you want to make sure whatever you're purchasing is going to be used for that purpose. So for example, if you're formulating a lipstick, you want to make sure that the pigment, the dye, or whatever it is that you're purchasing is FDA approved to be used on the lips. And the same goes for your eyes, you know, eye makeup, whatever the case is. You want to make sure it's FDA approved to be used wherever you're, you know, planning to use it. And most lake dyes are approved for use on the lips. However, most of them are not approved for use on the eyes. Iron oxides, most of them, probably like 99% of them, are approved to be used on both lips and eyes, but the colors, the shades are very limited. Okay, mixing. I'm gonna make sure you're smoothing out any lumps of pigment. So I'm actually, you know, still loving this color, so I think I'm going to leave it here and not add any more pigment or dyes to it. Okay. So since I'm satisfied with the color, I'm going to now add some rice powder and a little bit of kaolin clay. Just to kind of thicken it up just a little bit and to make it, I guess, more silkier and creamier. So I don't want it to be, you know, too thin. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon way. And about the same of the rice powder. If I can get it open. Okay. And I usually use silica, which has a similar texture as the rice powder. However, I was, out of that, so I just used the next best thing. You see how it thickened it up? It's just a little bit. Okay. So now we're going to move on to adding isododecane and flake resin. So what I did was I took about 1 tablespoon of the flake resin and I covered it with isododecane and just to let it soak. And what the flake resin does is it makes the lipstick more resistant. So it offers, that longevity that we all want in our lipsticks. And the isododecane just makes it more matte, which is also what I love. I love a matte lipstick. So yeah, I'll let this sit for about 2 hours maybe until, the flake resin is fully okay. So yes, once the flake resin has fully dissolved, your isododecane and flake resin mixture is now ready to be added to your recipe. And I usually get really heavy with this because it takes a lot to tone down the oils, the glossiness of the lipstick. So I did about 6 milliliters, and we're gonna see if that's enough. If not, we'll circle back and add more. Okay, so now I think we're ready to kind of do like a little swatch. As you can see, I've already been planning makeup today, trying to prepare. Okay. Put that there. Gonna let this kind of dry a little bit, just to see if it's where we want it to be. Until then, I'm gonna add some more rice powder. Because using the isododecane and flake raisin mixture kind of thinned the lipstick out. So I used about 2 teaspoons. Let's carefully mix it. I'm gonna go ahead and put some more kaolin clay in here. About a teaspoon of that. So as you can see, it's still pretty glossy, but I'm gonna do another swatch just to see where I am. So it looks like I'm gonna need to add more of the isododecane and raisin mixture. So I added another 6 milliliters, and 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna need to add more rice powder and kaolin clay. I'm just going to go ahead and add more of this. So you don't have to keep going back and forth. More rice powder. So 2 teaspoons again, and more kaolin clay. Let's do 1.5 teaspoons of this. Make sure this is well mixed. Hopefully we can get the outcome that we're looking for this time. These are different. Little stick, and I bought these sticks from TKB as well. They come in handy big time. And of course, if you're planning to resell this product, you don't want to do what I'm doing, which is reusing the same stick. Alright, it's still not quite there. Like I said, there were a ton of oils that we needed to tone down in order to have a more matte product. So I'm using some straight Epidode cane without the flake resin. I think we have enough of that in our product. Needs a little bit more. to be a little more thicker, so I'm going to add more kaolin clay. And this process can take time. Just until you get to where you want it to be. And once you have more of an established recipe, of course, it'll be a lot quicker. But we're just experimenting with different colors today, as you saw. And each pigment works differently. Okay. So I'm thinking we're ready to go. These did get a little bit more matte than, you know, we thought they were. So since I use, you know, a lot more isododecane, previously, I think we're ready to go. I think this is it. Okay. So for the next step in our process, we're going to add some preservative, more preservative. Just to give the product a longer shelf life. Don't need much, just a little. Okay. It's time for more fragrance. This is Blood Orange I purchased from Making Cosmetics. And this is very loud, so you don't need much. So I'm only going to do about 3 drops. That is it. And last, but definitely not least, I will be using some vanilla flavoring oil. I'm going to use about 3 drops of that. Okay. I'm going to mix this up very well. Give it a smell. Awesome. Loving it. Okay, beauties. We've made our very first liquid lipstick, and I'm so proud. I'm so happy right now. All right, so let's move forward with tubing this lovely color. All right, so they do make machines that they can tube the lipsticks for you. However, I like doing it the manual way. So I can just, you know, toss it whenever I'm done. And these can be purchased on Amazon, which is where I purchased them. This is 60 milliliter syringe. I didn't have any small ones because I usually, do these in bulk. So, you're going to take your syringe. And a pipette. And you're going to cut it up to the 2 milliliter point. All right, and you're going to take this part of the pipette, attach it to your syringe. You're going to open the syringe. And you're going to begin to add your liquid lipstick to the syringe. So this can get very messy, which is why I usually transfer the mixture into a bigger size beaker, such as this one. So I can just pour it in there. But I don't have one of those readily available. So what we're going to do, we're going to do it the hard way. A hard and messy way. All right, so since we're only filling 1 tube, I think that's about all we need to get the job done. So just try to clean here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and sit this inside of the tube. And start transferring this product to the tube. It's a little hard to press, so be careful. Okay, there we go. Oh. Okay. Okay, so the pipette fell off on the tube, which is why I said this is the hardest way. But no fear. I have another tube readily available. We're all in this together. So, if mistakes were made, we will make them together. Okay. So now it's time to make this official. And if you're planning to resell, of course you need to change your gloves, otherwise this will happen, all that nasty stuff. But this is for me, so I don't care. Okay. So now I can actually remove my gloves and tighten cap. All right. We have our first liquid lipstick, y'all. All right, beauties. Okay, beauties. It's time to see how this color looks on the lips. All right, you've got yourself a nice subtle pink. Okay, beauties, it's been wonderful creating this lovely lip color with you today. Stay tuned to our next video, and until then, like, subscribe, and share, and remember, you are loved and you are infinitely beautiful.